Have you ever recorded yourself speaking and thought, that doesn't sound like me at all? Your voice on a recording sounds thinner, higher, or just plain wrong compared to how you hear yourself in real life. It's one of the most common experiences people have with audio, and it can be genuinely unsettling. But here's the thing, you're not going crazy, and your recording isn't broken. There's actual science behind why your voice sounds so different. And it all comes down to two completely different ways your ears perceive sound. If you love learning about why everyday things work the way they do, subscribe to the channel for more explorations into the science behind normal life. Now, let's dive into the fascinating difference between bone conduction and air conduction, because understanding this will completely change how you think about your own voice. Sound travels in waves through the air. And most of the time, that's how you hear things. When someone speaks to you face to face, sound waves travel through the air and enter your ear canal. They hit your eardrum, which vibrates and sends signals to your inner ear, which then sends those signals to your brain. This is called air conduction, and it's the most common way we experience sound. It's straightforward, it's direct, and it's what happens when you listen to music through speakers or when you hear someone talking across the room. Air conduction is the default mode for how sound reaches your ears from the outside world. But here's where it gets interesting. When you speak, your voice doesn't just travel through the air to your ears. It also travels through your own body. When your vocal cords vibrate, they create vibrations that travel through your throat, your skull, your jawbone, and literally all through the bones in your head. These vibrations reach your inner ear directly through the bone in your skull. This is bone conduction, and it's the second pathway for sound to reach your ears. So when you're talking, you're hearing yourself in two ways at once. Through the air conduction pathway from your voice traveling through the air, and simultaneously through the bone conduction pathway from vibrations traveling through your skull. Now here's the crucial part that explains why your recorded voice sounds so different. When you listen to a recording of yourself, you're only hearing air conduction. The recording captures the sound waves that travel through the air, but it completely misses the bone conduction component. You've lost half of the acoustic information that you're used to hearing. The recording device can't capture vibrations traveling through your skull because those vibrations never leave your body. They're internal to you. Your brain is processing a version of your voice that's missing the lower frequencies and the resonance that comes from bone conduction. That's why it sounds thinner and higher than you expect. Bone conduction actually adds significant low-frequency information to your voice when you hear yourself speak in person. Those deeper resonant tones travel through your skull and reach your inner ear directly, and they contribute substantially to how you perceive your own voice. But a microphone placed outside your body can't pick up those internal vibrations. It only captures the sound waves that make it through the air. So, the recording is missing all that low-frequency richness that your brain is accustomed to hearing. This is also why your voice sounds different to other people than it sounds to you. When someone else listens to you speak, they're only hearing air conduction too. They don't get the bone conduction component because that's exclusive to you. They're hearing what a recording would capture, while you're hearing a hybrid of both pathways. This phenomenon becomes even more interesting when you think about how much bone conduction contributes to your self-perception. Some research suggests that bone conduction can account for a significant portion of the low-frequency content that you hear when you speak. Remove that, and suddenly your voice sounds unrecognizable. Your brain has spent your entire life hearing your voice with bone conduction included, so it becomes your reference point for what your voice actually sounds like. Everyone else's reference point for your voice is based solely on air conduction, which is why they might say, but that's exactly what you sound like when you complain about a recording. To them, the recording is accurate. You're the one who's used to hearing the bone conduction enhanced version. Understanding this difference also helps explain some other audio phenomena. For example, people who are deaf or hard of hearing sometimes benefit from bone conduction hearing aids. These devices work by vibrating against the bone behind the ear, sending sound directly to the inner ear through bone conduction, bypassing the outer and middle ear entirely. This is incredibly useful for people whose hearing loss is in those specific parts of the ear. Bone conduction is powerful enough and direct enough to deliver meaningful audio information. It's not a second-rate pathway. It's a legitimate, robust way for sound to reach your brain. So the next time you hear a recording of yourself and think it sounds wrong, remember that you're experiencing the acoustic equivalent of seeing yourself in a mirror for the first time. You've never actually perceived your voice through air conduction alone before. You've always had the bone conduction component adding richness and depth to the sound. The recording is capturing how other people experience your voice every single day. It's accurate, even if it doesn't match your internal reference point. And honestly, once you understand this, recordings become a lot less unsettling. You're not hearing a distorted version of your voice. You're hearing the air conduction component in isolation, which is exactly what everyone else hears. If you found this explanation helpful and want to understand more about how your senses work, please like the video. Your feedback helps us create more content about the science behind the everyday experiences that we all share. And I'm genuinely curious. How does your recorded voice make you feel? Do you hate it? Or have you gotten used to it over time? Drop a comment and let me know your experience. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. We explore the why behind so many things that we take for granted. And I'd love to have you join us for more discoveries like this one.